your body is attacking itself is a myth, and it's false, and it's a theory that was never proven. There's absolutely no proof in medical science, through blood work, through testing, through studies, that shows that there are things that your body makes to attack itself. Now, legitimately, could your body be under attack? For sure, but it's not attacking itself. The problem is in the medical world that we're not really looking for answers to how could the body be under attack, and by what and by whom. So every skin condition that doesn't result from an injury stems from an overburdened liver. Let's read that again. Every skin condition that does not result from an injury stems from an overburdened liver. The type of skin condition is determined by the type of poison or pathogen. And by poison, what do I include? Toxic heavy metals, chemical liver betrayers, liver troublemakers like chemical compounds, petroleum, gasoline, paint chemicals, etc. There was also brain betrayers like MSG and things like that, which can build up in our bodies and, along with the pathogens, cause havoc on our skin. So let's talk about the role of the liver. What resides in the liver? Copper, which is one of the most antagonistic toxins for skin conditions. Mercury is the next biggest instigator for skin. And pesticides, herbicides, solvents, petroleum products, antibiotics, other pharmaceuticals are also in the poison list. What does copper do? As copper builds up in the liver over time, it grows sluggish. What does mercury do? This results in the liver not being able to detoxify as well as it could. And what do other pesticides and chemicals do? It is possible for these chemicals and poisons in the liver to trigger a skin condition all on their own that has nothing to do with the pathogens at play as well. Vitiligo is the first one. Dermatoxins from HHV6 or sometimes EBV injure the cells and produce a skin pigment. The viruses are feeding off of formaldehyde, aluminium, and some copper in the liver. Stress is always a trigger as it lowers the immune system, and healing includes bringing in 28-day cleanses and lowering fats. The key is to stop the oxidation of the aluminium. You must bring in antiviral protocols, which bring in HMDS, heavy metal detox smoothie, celery juice. Somebody says, is vitiligo reversible? Yes, it is. I've helped several clients reverse vitiligo. Actinic keratosis is patches of skin become rough like sandpaper or slightly bumpy, and they can come and go. It's a form of eczema, and it's a specific strain of EBV feeding on higher levels of mercury with some copper. Celery juice helps to reduce the viral load and neutralize heavy metal-based toxins as well. And antiviral protocols are needed for this that we have outlined in your handout. Let's talk about age spots and melasma. Brown spots on the skin that tend to increase with sun exposure. And they're not sunspots, they're not age spots, they are correctly to be called liver spots. And they're caused by a toxic, overloaded liver. Toxins are drawn out to the skin by the healing power of the sun. Dermatoxin here with melasma and age spots is made up of half methylated aluminium and half methylated cadmium, nickel, lead, and mercury. So you want a lower fat to help the liver heal, antiviral protocols, celery juice. It's a wonderful cocktail of metals. The more toxic your liver is, the more likely you are to develop wrinkles and other skin aging problems. But guess what? You might think, oh my gosh, someone who doesn't have wrinkles might just have no skin problems or liver issues, but they might have a liver issue. They might have it in a part of their liver, because there's 5 parts to the liver. They might have it in a part of their liver that doesn't really cause the aging issues. They could have another part of their liver that is completely sluggish. So when the liver directs blood with unfavorable material to the skin, liver spots, wrinkles, flabby skin, and other issues can develop. We start life with poisons, and we improve the liver through detoxification and cleansing. And adrenaline as well is super damaging for the skin. And nothing, because I know you've all tried something, can miraculously cure wrinkles topically. You need to address the root, which is the liver. So you get beta carotenes from veggies, leafy greens, mangoes, papayas, and it goes right to the layers of your skin. Reduce fat. Fats age your skin. Heavy metal detox is important, and you want to check the food and supplement recommendations. So when I met Anthony, which was in 2016, he looks so young. He looked younger than me. And I was like in my 30s at that time. And he looked like he was younger than 35. It was just crazy. Okay, so dandruff. We already talked a little bit about dandruff, but let's get into it here. So to help dandruff, wash your hair with apple cider vinegar. It can be very helpful. It's often one of the last symptoms to heal. You need to reduce fat to help the liver. That's the only way to really work on dandruff, truly. Warts are caused by a toxic, overloaded liver. It can be healed. Plantar warts, you crush basil and you can rub it onto the plantar wart and it can really make a difference there. You have to support the liver to clear warts. Celery juice is critical. Lemon water is critical. Burdock, dandelion, nettle leaf, raspberry leaf tea is critical. Some warts, not all of them, can be helped by black walnut tincture. So one of my daughters had a wart that was just, it grew on top of itself. So it grew and then it grew on top of itself and then it grew on top of itself. It was a very weird looking wart. And that was when we were clients of Anthony. So I asked him, I said, what to do with that? And he said, well, just put black walnut tincture on it. And it went away. It hasn't come back. I'll tell you, some of these tools are just like miracles. It's like, how? I feel like even the information that we have right now on fruits and vegetables and herbs and what they can do for us, I think we're just like at kindergarten with this information and knowledge. I think it's so helpful to learn more and keep studying it because there's miracles in everything that's made, I think. Let's talk about boils. Viruses and bacteria can leave the liver and cause mysterious boils, right? And boils are often strep related, usually have a bacterial piece as well involved with this. So dealing with boils, they're a little bit more sinister or different than acne, which is all strep. But boils go a little deeper because they can have a viral piece, they can have a bacterial piece. And with the bacterial piece, really start to focus on bringing in the tools like golden seal, lomatium, eyebright, vitamin C, propolis, zinc, and what have you. All right, let's talk about scarring. So mysterious scar tissue like that in the liver is caused by pathogens feeding on toxic heavy metals and troublemaker foods and then burrowing into healthy cells, causing damage. Strep is the most common instigator of scar tissue. Let's underline that for a minute, shall we? Strep is the most common instigator of scar tissue, and it's the cause of acne scarring, scar tissue left behind in the sinus cavities, scar tissue in the bladder, scar tissue in the intestinal tract. It's a lot, right? Mild scar tissue can also be caused by Epstein-Barr and by some other herpetic viruses like the HSV simplex 1s and 2s and shingles. So EBV is the cause of scar tissue in the lymphatic system, which causes sarcoidosis, which can happen anywhere in the body, but in particular can happen in the lungs. You want to work up to 32 ounces of fresh celery juice, really important. And scars go away when you heal the liver. Do you believe that? Who believes that over here? The scars will go away when you heal the liver. Has anyone seen scars go away? Has anyone seen scars go away? So I also had stretch marks from having babies, and all the stretch marks on my belly, and I still have a belly because I'm got some extra weight from what my liver has been through. And so stretch marks on the belly have completely gone away. And I never think that was possible. Another tool that can be really helpful for stretch marks is to use the living libations. Sea buckthorn, best skin ever. Sea buckthorn, best skin ever. You can do it when you're pregnant as well. So it's dirty blood from the inside that keeps the scars from healing. So once you know this, it's so empowering because you can heal. You don't have to live with it. So cellulite is caused by a combination of strep and dermatoxins and liver. So strep escapes to the subcutaneous lymphatic vessels, interacts with dermatoxins coming out of the liver. You want to add in celery juice. And not just that, it's not just the strep that can be connected to cellulite. It is actually a very sluggish liver that causes cellulite, because the liver is trying to pack poisons in other places outside of itself, so it can pack them into tiny globules of fat cells as well. So eczema is usually half copper, half mercury, with a virus, usually Epstein-Barr. Psoriasis, a combination of about 3/4 copper and 1/4 mercury with a virus like Epstein-Barr. Hundreds of different patterns and types of eczema can occur. You want to avoid contact with pesticides and herbicides for this case. Plant-based is ideal. You don't have to be, but it's better. And to reduce fat. But also with eczema and psoriasis and skin conditions, you want to reduce grain. Celery juice can be very helpful to clear dermatitis. So skin can peel just from touching it, for example. You have the classic garden variety of psoriasis, which can be very, very troublesome. You can have seborrheic dermatitis, which is a toxic liver that's high in a little bit of everything with no direct viral relation. And that's what a lot of people get on their heads, right? That scalp that gets irritated, the seborrheic dermatitis on the scalp, which is where often it's found. That is not necessarily viral, but more just a toxic liver. Perioral, so mystery skin conditions around the mouth are often all viral. Celery juice can help. It really helps seborrheic dermatitis by reviving the liver, flushing out the overload of toxins and reinvigorating liver cells. And it helps classic dermatitis by destroying Epstein-Barr and dislodging old pesticides. So rosacea is another type of eczema that appears on the face. It's usually mercury-based, with mercury present in both the liver and the small intestinal tract, plus a virus, which is our good friend, Epstein-Barr. You want to avoid contact with pesticides and herbicides, which can trigger this condition even more. So again, being plant-based is ideal, reduce fat, and also cut back grain. Really important to cut back grain. Again, celery juice can help to clear it.